You are now rocking with the 3-yard play.
Right.
We just figured out a 3-yard play, fam. We're gonna win every time.
Yeah.
Hit that link with you. Come on in.
You're tuned into the 3-Yard Play podcast. Well, the only question is, does it work for you?
Trail got wings, bitch.
We been working all year. It's game time. We all here. We turned up. Oh yeah. Cause we finna be the champs this year. We been working all year. It's game time. We all here. We turned up. Oh yeah. Cause we finna be the champs this year. We live in weight just to hold up the trophy. Flag on the plate, cause them haters can't hold me. And 1, 2-a-days and run up the biggest hill just to sharpen up my skills. They hit the scoreboard first, I had to hit them drills. Time I get around the corner, they gon' see my new wheels. After practice, till the lights come on, till they bust ride out and they gone. That rally had us help, my teammate down the steps. Player, we got plays you ain't even seen yet. I post up and fade away like graffiti. Just don't claim it's love when you see us on TV. We been working all year. It's game time. We all here. We turned up. Oh yeah. Cause we finna be the champs this year.
3-Yard Play podcast.
We been working
brought to you by reality.
all year.
Where it is, what it is.
Game time.
You get what you get.
We all here.
So comment and let us know where you live.
Yeah. Cause we finna be the champs this year.
New Black Magic Jr. album, Riot's Work, coming soon. Featuring bangers like How Deep, Cursed, the Poland Remix, Rolling, and many more. Also be sure to check out the album, FM, Sleep Well, and Breaking Cases of Mercy.
Alien technology that took the skull and bone silver first for all of y'all to see. Black magic in the flash, hacking through the algorithm, killing shit the best.
New Black
95
Magic
Bulls
Jr.
running full court press. Jordan back after getting shit off his chest.
The truth is the hardest shit.
What's good, family? Yo, this is 3-Yard Play. We coming in hot. So today's conversation, backstage conversation, is how do we use social media today in a way where it's not detrimental to our own livelihoods, our own businesses, everything that we do? How can we stop putting ourselves in that position? Or why do we even do that? I don't even understand. So, Trip, T-Mac, man, tell me what y'all think about that right now.
I think, to be quite honest, man, it's a gift and a curse. You know, social media has created a lot of independently wealthy individuals, and at the same time, social media has created a lot of inmates doing a lot of time, you know, down the road. So I think it's a gift and a curse, to be honest, man. Almost like having a firearm. With a firearm, you can go out and be a hunter, or you can go out and be a security officer and figure out a way to, you know, make a way for your family, or you can be out here being a jackboy, robber, and doing whatever else, and make a mistake and shoot yourself. You know, so I think it's a tool, and I can't necessarily vilify the tool, but when I look overall at the outcome, I think it's really taking over. You know, it's to the point that it's decreased people's attention span and just totally consume folks. Man, something happened on social media, it's damn near more real than if something happened for real outside the house, for real in the street.
And no background checks on none of that information. You just roll with it.
No doubt, just state it.
Right.
No checking up or nothing.
Right.
No confirming or nothing. It's just it's got to be law because it's on Facebook. Right.
And then
I watch some crazy stuff. Like my dad right now, he'll tell me. Sometimes I ask him, I say, "Where you get that information from?" He'll be like, "YouTube."
Oh yeah.
I'm like, okay, you know. So, I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of times, like on my ride to Emory the other day, I was just looking around and just seeing how people are just so entrenched into their social media platforms and everything like that. and it's almost weird in a way. It's almost like robotic. Everybody's just, not even really real anymore. So, man, when I look at like some of the things I've heard, the FBI has actually said they actually walked into, I don't know if it was Zuckerberg or one of the social media platforms meetings, and they were like, we just want to say we thank you. We're thankful that you guys came into existence because you have made our job so much easier. We just did not think that people would put their whole life on social media
On display.
and tell everything. So I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that part because I had one thing in mind, but I started thinking about this Young Thug situation.
Yeah.
In these RICO cases, a lot of these brothers catching, and a lot of the information coming through their songs, coming through social media, coming through their technology. Then I now revert back to my space working in education. Like we might have incidents in our schools that fights, people getting jumped off the bus, and all this other stuff. But a lot of that stuff doesn't originate at the schools. So a lot of my meetings are about, hey, how do we discipline these kids when we know it was a social media post? It was some bullying that was going on in the DMs. There was a whole lot of that stuff taking place, and in that space, in that space, where now they just acting on things that were happening on social media, but now they brought into this world. But now we got to figure out how to decipher what's going on. So as a cop, I'm like, well, shoot, that made it easy too. We can see now where it originated, who it started with, how all this stuff came about, because people beefing back and forth. It's like, oh, well, shoot, that makes it easy to kind of assess blame. But how but then from my perspective, do we accept responsibility for administering the discipline, or should that be a household thing? You know what I mean? Because it's that fine line between this didn't happen on school grounds, but the fight did. You know what I mean? But all the other stuff happened at your house. So what's the culpability for mom and dad, or shoot, these days grandma? You know what I'm saying? Does she need to be held responsible for the things that's going on there? Then we talk about I joking with my kids about going to TikTok University. You know what I mean? Like I can't vilify the tool when my kids are learning valuable. They're being introduced to valuable concepts, terms, and all this stuff. And like I always encourage them, hey, you got to take that and dive a little deeper, though. These little 2-minute blurbs don't give you the whole story, but I'm glad you were introduced because now we can have a conversation. And I would now come back and just say, hey, as a parent, I'm glad I created a space where my kids see something crazy on social media or something, and they come and ask me about it or try and share it with me. So we now I can also provide some level of context. Now, the last good thing, and I'll be quick about this, I can't even imagine a time when I was growing up where I felt like if I was about to fight somebody or do something crazy as hell, I want to film it, then share it, think about it when I'm trying to sneak and get it done. But I want to make it a worldwide phenomenon. That part ain't registered with me yet. You know what I mean? And so like Trip said, it's created a lot of inmates, but it also made some millionaires or some thousandaires. You know what I mean? But it created some space for people who normally wouldn't have access to some positive things.
Kind of wild, man, because it put me in the mindset of Baby Boy when Mel was talking about guns and butter. You know, kind of take you back to the guns and butter of like during the social media era, we get to see just blatantly that line is drawn between producers and consumers. And it's like either you're going to be somebody that just consumes content or you're going to be someone that produces content. And there's roles for either or, you know, and like I felt like I was managing my social media consumption better than I really was. You know, being honest with myself, I had to recognize, man, I waste a lot of time with this, you know, because my weakness is reels. Them little short videos that like you might see some wild stuff, and some of it might be beneficial, some of it might be heartwarming, some of it might just make you laugh, some of it might, and it's almost like easy to get addicted to because you'll be flipping through reels almost like subconsciously, like you don't want to miss the next one. Like, damn, this is gonna be next. It's almost like opening Christmas presents or something. Like, what's gonna be in this different thing? And some of it might be something to piss you all the way off. You're like, man, why I'm looking at this shit. or it'd be something where you just feel like, damn, that's awesome. I saw that. I'm actually try this in my own life. But more than anything, I noticed, man, 30, 45 minutes don't went by, 15, 20 minutes don't went by. And I'm sitting here doing this, and I only get one set at a time. You only get one set at a time. So every day you wake up, you're going to look at some reels in the morning, get time for lunch, might look at some more in the evening, might look at some. It's like, man, I'm spending my time watching folks live their life.
Right. Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm guilty as charged on that one, boy. I'll be watching little reels. I'll just go ahead and this is what you call it, one of those unapologetic shout outs to some of them folks who run around doing them phone things where they go around say, hey, let your boyfriend, girlfriend look at your phone and see if they cheat. Bro, I'm spending about 30 minutes on watching them things, trying to see how stupid these folks are for doing certain things and get caught up and realize I don't waste about a good 30, 40 minutes of my day watching a 2-minute blurbs of somebody about to get dumped. You know what I mean? On somebody.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm the fool, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna talk about them. I'm the one wasting my time.
I'll watch you. Yeah, I'll watch you do this mess. Yeah.
You know, and it's funny, man. I feel like it stemmed all the way back from the first reality TV show. And I felt like it was just like
like Real World or something?
Real World. Because it's like, it was just a slow process of bringing people into this idea that what you're watching is real.
Right.
Like you're seeing life happen right now. And with
that's
people
a good
being,
analogy.
you know what I'm saying? And so if you trying to escape your life, you can watch somebody else's life. So it becomes this thing where you're addicted to watching. I mean, my wife sometimes will watch my 600-pound life. And I'm like, who thought of, why is this a show? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's just this whole idea of everything that we're watching is taking place is real or is a reality. And so, man, you know, when you flipping through them reels, it's like, and it's called real, but it's also supposedly real. Right. You know, so we get wrapped up in that, man. And then, you know, how many times a day you just kind of like from one segment to the next, you're waiting to do this, to go to that, you got a meeting, and in between time, you're just like, you know, let me just take my mind off what I'm doing. And man, for long, you done got so wrapped up into it's almost like a part of your life. Mm-hmm. They done took us over, man. It is crazy right now as far as like how people just are so wrapped up in that, you know. And like y'all, I do the same thing. You know, if I get some time, I'm gonna scroll through the reels, you know, might hit a like here and there, you know. I don't know what it is, bro. It's like a phenomenon.
I call it mindless entertainment because I don't have to control it at all. You know what I mean? It just you just throw, and then I'm on a deeper level. I always associate it with. I just include myself in this. Sometimes you do want to escape your life, and to the point where looking at other people's trials and triumphs and all that stuff, it hits you emotionally in some kind of way. I don't know if it's for good or bad or whatever, but it's also sometimes a mindless escape from your reality. And a lot of times, but I realized, I've been watching too much of this and I'm trying to make it my reality. You know what I mean? I started questioning my reality based on these things. You know what I mean? Like, well, how come this doesn't happen? How come, this ain't supposed to happen? And I'm like, man, bro, check out of it. Then you watching just some, like you said, somebody produce some content just to get likes. The more likes you get, the more money you get. So the more outrageous the stuff is going to be. So you got to kind of have that perspective on what it's about. You got to kind of dig deep into the what you're seeing, and then
right.
And then last thing, I guess I should have prefaced those comments with this. When we were at the age when we first saw the very first Real World, we saw a lot of the very first reality shows.
Yeah,
a lot of those were kind of organic, in my opinion, from the start. But then they created the data for these production companies and for viewers to feel like, these are the things that people are most interested in. It's usually other people's pain.
Mm-hmm. And then now the algorithms, they manipulate it. It's not even as natural as even the unnatural was.
Right.
And the thing that I think is, quietly, I notice myself when I'm watching it is that just the overall lack of quiet time. The lack of quiet time to go within oneself and actually come with a brilliant idea that may change your reality. And it's like I wrestle because I do recognize I've learned some things. There's been some cool little life hacks or different things that I've seen in social media, implemented in my real life, and seen a positive benefit. But then sometimes I wonder too if I'm constantly just listening to something, constantly got something playing. Now you got a choice of all the music in the world for free on YouTube, and or you can watch all the crazy ass little videos you want on your phone. It's really you got to really make a conscious decision to shut all that stuff off and just enjoy quiet time with yourself. And it's to the point now you listen to it so much that once you turn everything off and you quiet by yourself, you almost feel weird. Like, oh damn.
I know this backstage. This backstage, I'm about to throw us way off topic right quick.
Dude,
got a text from my son saying Kyrie going to the Mavericks to play with Luka, man.
What?
Kyrie Irving got traded to the Dallas Mavericks to go play with Luka Doncic. I don't know how good it is, but hey, but like I said, that's what that damn social media that
you keep you abreast of everything.
You get that real time news. Kids be hitting you up. Hey, Dad, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. The good and the bad of it all. I'm
right.
Like, bro, don't you supposed to be cleaning your room? But nah, he reporting live news to Dad about, hey man, Kyrie just got traded. I'm like, damn.
But that's gonna be a better look for Kyrie probably by the time Brooklyn gave him that list. They ain't want him there no more. Like, you might as well get the hell on.
Yeah, he needed a new start, but man, that just that quick. You see
that's
how everybody's a guru now. Everybody, it's the information age at its finest, man. Like, there's no reason for you really not to know anything if you don't, if you want to. Like,
right.
Man, with question for you,
used to have to wait 2 or 3 days to get information.
Do y'all think this information is helping us, or is it like we just got access to a bunch of shit we almost not using it? Like we was down there better off when we didn't have as much, so you appreciated the info you did have and implemented it more. First, now you can know everything, so then niggas don't know nothing. Like,
yeah, I think it stifles innovation. You know what I mean? Because we don't have to hope and wonder anymore. You know what I mean? We're getting everything thrown at us where we can't. You know, it doesn't allow a lot of room for creativity, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? Kind of like, I know Kyrie requested a trade, I guess, a few days ago. But shoot, and when we were growing up, you almost had to wait till the next newscast, which would probably be 6 o'clock tomorrow at 6 p.m. or ESPN tomorrow, before ESPN can really get it out. My son telling it, you know what I mean? That type thing. So it's not a lot of room. We don't leave a lot of room for wonder. How about that? That's probably a better way to say it.
True. I think it hurts those who it hurts, and I think it benefits those who it benefits. The reason I say that is if you are a person who is and most of us do have some type of procrastination in our bones, it's going to hurt those types of individuals because we already were going to do that anyway. But there are individuals who are proactive. And so what they're going to do is they're going to go and siphon all this information off and produce a livelihood that makes them, light years ahead of their peers, or even at a younger age. Like I've watched a lot of the younger generation seem to have a better grip on economics or how to get to the economics quicker. They may not keep it, but they are figuring out all these different ways to circumvent the system where they can live, a decent life. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just information out there that we could use. Like I just had a friend hit me up about taxes, and she literally took this little course online and basically taught herself how to do it, and she ended up bringing back like 7,200 on her own. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, dang, but she was active. She was like, okay, I'm gonna use this information and I'm gonna go figure it out. But again, like I said, it depends on the individuals. I think some of us are gonna be, benefited from it, and then I think some are gonna just, have what they say. Knowledge is only wisdom when you're able to apply it, when it becomes applicable. So everybody's got knowledge now. That's not amazing anymore. What's amazing is how do they apply that knowledge? How do they, put it out there and make it happen?
Real talk. I'm gonna throw the flag, man. I'm gonna just say this in closing, man, because I don't want to be coming down on social media like it's all bad, man. One positive thing I will say is that I feel like social media is taking a lot of the power away from the media conglomerates and place a lot of the power back with the people. And I think that's a large part of what they tried to kind of break up some with the algorithms. But it's funny, more and more when I'm on YouTube or I'm on the Instagram, different things like that, I see the major companies trying to force their way back in the algorithm. And it's like, man, I ain't click on this. I don't want to see this. So, they ratings and they must be low. Y'all having to now force yourself on the screen because people ain't choosing to watch that. So it's probably taking away, some degree of their mind control and some degree of groupthink, because now, some folks are just independently thinking and looking at whatever on their own, and it's harder to corral everybody. So, I think in that way it is to some degree beneficial.
True. What about you, Thomas, on the way out? What you got? What about you, Thomas? No, you good?
I'm good, brother, because I know we run out of time, but I just want to make sure we got it in. But I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation and everything. But it's a lot of things that triggered some other show topics, so I'm looking forward to building on this discussion for a lot of things. I know me, I'm long-winded, so I'm trying to cut this one down.
Got you. Well, people, you've heard it from us. I challenge the next group, next show. I say try to unplug. If that's a terminology I want to put out there, try to at some point unplug from the system and get some of that quality time back with your people. With your friends,
with your community.
With your community, with even yourself, just finding out what makes you tick or makes you think of the new innovative idea that may put you on a different trajectory. So unplug this next week a little bit and then plug back in. You can always tune back in. It's not going nowhere. So again, thank y'all for tuning in for the 3-Yard Play. We out.
Does it work for you?
Does it work for you?
That's all you gotta ask. We out.
Peace.
El Bravo debut album.
You start with the reference to
On
God.
all streaming platforms. Featuring hits like Young Jit, Stowaway, My Book of Life, and many more. Follow El Bravo at Lab Tech Music Group. It's time.
Like a stowaway.
Debut album. Release me.
Just like
In
you
stores
know it
now.
is. Your homeland's far away. Take my hand and let me lead, though. I feel like they wanna take me, but they weren't ready to me. Take a shot at the back of my hand and leave me for dead.
El Bravo. Release me. In stores now.
You see, the thing that separates us from every other group of slaves is the fact that
Thank y'all for tuning in today and every day. And remember to keep running your 3-Yard Play.
Look at them mouths, we feel like flowers, they gon' grow. We gon' water season, watch that harvest flow. I've been crunching up.
Cause we know heroes are made in the off season.
There should be no reason
And grinding slow is better than crashing out
we
for
get that
dough.
money bound for, we don't want it.
Let's say, young brothers, remember,
Don't fulfill the promise.
just get 3 yards every day. They can never
I can't
stop.
read that narrative, so ain't no need of calling us. You ain't never had to tell your kid being black was a sin, cause his skin was reflected through America. Taking care of us was just a handout, right? But it was fair when free labor was just as nice. I can bet you your life, your kids living alright. Cause me and
You
mine had to
have
do
been rocking
it or
with the
die every
3-Yard
single
Play
night.
podcast.
I get mine, yeah. You get yours, yeah. But together, nigga, we gon' get some more, yeah. Look at them mouths, we feel like flowers,
So
they
like,
gon' grow.
subscribe,
We
share,
gon' water
and
season,
let's
watch that
discuss.
harvest flow.
I've been crunching numbers, winter, fall, spring, or summer. There should be no reason that the baby never hunger. When we get that money bound for, we don't run it. I only pledge allegiance to go fulfill the promise.